I've been consumed with two passions in my life, cakes and cars. And finally, I'm combining the two on an all-American road trip. That's the best apple pie I've ever tasted. It's pretty good, isn't it?
Not bad.
So get ready for a sugar-coated, full-throttle journey around the United Cakes of America. Today, I've come to New York City to visit Harlem, where a passion for home baking has ensured the success of a local bakery. You've never heard the saying, less is more?
No, I have not heard that.
Then I'm crossing state lines and making my way to Connecticut on the lookout for a blueberry farm. This is stunning around here. Look at this. In the kitchen, I'll be baking up a storm with two recipes for you to try at home: carrot cake and toasted blueberry muffins. The reason why I trim it up is that you can eat this bit. They are pretty good. I'm starting to find my way around New York now. From right at the bottom, down near Wall Street, I'm heading north of Central Park to an area called Harlem, and that's where I'm going for carrot cake. Harlem officially became part of New York City in the late 1800s. And with a church on nearly every corner, this is a place that celebrates community spirit like no other. Well, when you think of Harlem, you think of African-American, you think of music, certainly think of basketball. I was never very good at basketball at school, because I was the smallest. I don't know what happened. I think I started to eat cake after I was 15. I think I grew about a foot. I'm here to check out a family bakery that's the cornerstone of its local community. Alea.
Hi, James.
Great to see you.
A pleasure to see you. Have you heard anything about Harlem?
A little bit. I've heard about the Globetrotters.
Okay.
The church is a big thing in Harlem.
And you see them all around. You have First Corinthian right here.
Was this a theatre or something?
It was a theater, and it has been revitalized, and it has an awesome congregation. I'm a member of this church, you know, but there's many historical churches in the area, and they're churches that keep this community together. So to have a family business in this community is monumental.
So put Harlem into a sentence.
Harlem is home. If you have to leave, you want to come back.
And I believe your carrot cake is something worth coming back for.
Carrot cake is 14 karat gold.
Right. Alea runs Make My Cake Bakery with her mother and brother. It really does have that family feel.
When I designed this store, I wanted it to have a feeling of home. A very comfort is a big word in this bakery.
Right.
So when you walk in, you have an area where you could just lounge, you know, socialize.
It's a very friendly feel to it in here.
Yes, extremely friendly.
And a busy feel to it as well. Is it always this busy in here?
You've come on one of the best days of the week. This is Sunday.
Yeah.
It's after church. You know, so everyone is coming in to get their desserts before they go home for dinner.
Am I right in thinking church, it's one after another services?
Yes. Church is church in Harlem. So you don't get a little bit of something, you get a lot of something.
Well, I'm hoping for a lot of carrot cake. So it's time to get into the kitchen and get baking. The cake starts with carrots and they're mixed with brown sugar and raisins, which Alea mixes together while I'm on egg cracking duty. So this cake was really important for you as growing up, wasn't it?
Yes, a carrot cake was the birthday cake in our house. And we would be able to pick the icings. One of my brothers, he liked buttercream.
Yeah.
My other brother liked cream cheese. I like caramel.
Sounds good to me. The base of the cake begins with sugar and oil.
Now we have some crushed pineapples.
Yeah.
And this adds to the moisture of the carrot cake.
Now, is this normal in carrot cake, crushed pineapple? Because I haven't seen this before, no.
This is something that my mom did as I was, you know, looking on as a little girl.
Yeah.
The crushed pineapples, and it gives it just a nice balance to the carrots.
So what does your mum think about you taking her recipe and serving it to the masses? Is she happy about that?
My mother is happy about it. My mother always makes jokes with me about how I will redo something.
All right, so she's the real taste tester in here then.
So she, we'll start out with her version, and then I'll put a little kick to it. So I don't like anything simple. I like a lot of things with a little pizzazz to it. So I want you to add in, slowly add in
Oh, you
the
like
flour.
you're leaving me to do this bit, yeah. It's recipes like this that have been handed down through generations that make this bakery so special. And this carrot cake is one of their biggest sellers. What about these?
We're going to put the walnuts in.
Oh, you see?
See, you distracted me.
The mixture is divided between 2 tins and then the cakes go into the oven. Once cooked and cooled, it's time for the frosting, which is cream cheese, butter, vanilla and icing sugar, whipped together. Americans love their frosting, and a layer is no exception. So it's cake, frosting, coconut, frosting, cake, and more frosting. No wonder your bake shop's popular. You don't do things by half in Harlem, do you?
No, not at all.
No. And she's not done yet. There's even more icing. You've never heard the saying, less is more?
No, I have not heard that.
Right, let's have a taste.
Let's have a taste.
What do we taste first?
No,
What's
we need a fork.
the cake or the ice? We don't need a fork.
We don't need a fork? No. Go for both of them at the same time.
You can taste the carrot. And it's lovely and moist too. Because carrot cake can be really heavy and dense, but this is just it's delicious.
Thank you.
Thank you for showing me.
You're very welcome.
And that bakery was really the epicenter of Harlem, not just on the crossroads of the whole place, but really a focal point for everybody coming out of church. And go visit there on a Sunday. It really is a fantastic place to go see and to taste the cake. So this is my version of a carrot cake, but I'm going to do it with candied carrot and an almond tuile. First of all, you get some carrots and then mix that with icing sugar, some wholemeal flour, because I think it has a nice earthy, rustic taste. Next in goes rapeseed oil, a couple of eggs, dark brown sugar, pecan nuts, sultanas, and mixed spice. And this is the simplicity of this cake. It really is all in one. And if you follow the recipe, i.e. get the quantities right, you kind of can't go wrong. Grease and line a tin with parchment paper and pour in the cake mix. So with the mixture, you just tap it so it gets into the corners. Then bake this about 170 degrees centigrade, 350 Fahrenheit, gas 4, for about half an hour. While that's in the oven, I have a fun garnish to make, candied carrots. It's basically sugar, water and butter. Throw in some baby carrots and a pinch of salt. The water evaporates and the butter, sugar and salt emulsifies and turns into a sauce, and it glazes the carrots. So we're going to cook this for about 8 minutes. But that's not all. I'm also making praline tuiles. Melt the sugar in a pan, add 100 grams of flaked almonds, and then pour the praline onto a baking tray to cool. Now what I'm trying to get with this is a nice cylinder of praline, and to do that you need a square template. Once you've cut this out, blitz the praline into a fine powder. Sprinkle a layer of it over the template to create perfect rectangles. Then pop them in the oven for just a few minutes to melt. The cooked cake looks very similar to Alaya's, but I'm not going to use icing to decorate. Now the carrots will help it keep it nice and moist, but what she did also was put some pineapple in there, which would really help. But I'm going to use some of this. This is just caramel and orange juice mixed together in a nice little syrup, which we could just drizzle over the top. Now the praline tuiles should be ready to roll. Just peel them off the baking sheet and set them over a rolling pin to create a cylinder. You take the sugared carrot, pop it inside. If you thought that was the tricky bit, this is. Instead of frosting, I'm using plain cream cheese, which will cut through the sweetness. Carefully place a spoonful inside the tweel. Finish it off with a drizzle of the syrup from the carrot pan. And there you go. A carrot cake into a restaurant dish. Now, although the presentation is very different, the thing about carrot cake is it's going to taste the same. And it works really well with the orange syrup. It's nice and moist. It tastes delicious. I've left the hustle and bustle of New York City behind to head for the country. I'm off to the beautiful state of Connecticut. Connecticut is in New England, named so by the settlers who arrived from England and established colonies here in the 1630s. I can really see why people live here. A lot of greenery, and then you all of a sudden pass through small little towns and villages. I don't think they call them villages, it's town in the US, but it's how I like the countryside. Greenery, you see. And this is a first for my road trip. I'm taking a ferry. It's not really a ferry, it's just a boat with another boat attached to it. This geezer looks as if he knows what he's doing. Hi there.
How are you?
Very good. What river is this?
Connecticut River.
Connecticut River. And how long has this ferry been going?
This is the oldest continuously operating ferry in the United States, and it hasn't stopped running since 1655.
It's a piece of history, isn't it?
Absolutely. Big time Americana.
Thank you. Cool. The oldest ferry in America. This looks like blueberry country. The blueberries are what I'm after. They're native to this part of America, and the country produces 90% of the world's supply. I'm on my way to Rosie's Berry Farm. We're getting close. Blueberry Lane. Started as a fruit farm in 1908. Today, it's the biggest grower of blueberries in Connecticut. This is stunning around here. Look at this. I'm meeting the current owner, Sandy Rose. So, tell us about the farm.
It was settled in 1908 by my husband's mother's family.
Yeah.
And then the Roses got into it in the 40s.
Yeah.
This whole area was settled by Northern Italian gentlemen, and this looked like home to them.
Well, it certainly does. It looks like Tuscany when you stand back and look at it. It's beautiful.
That's why. They all came from that area.
Yeah.
So that's why it does look like Tuscany.
And the predominant produce here, because I see you've got apples here as well, so it's a mixed bag here?
It's a mixed bag in our farm and pretty much across the board around here. We all do a little bit of everything, which lengthens our season out. We start with flowers in May and we go through December with Christmas trees.
Okay, so teach me about blueberries then.
I sure will.
This has to be the most picturesque leg of my road trip so far. And I'm looking forward to gathering blueberries so Sandy can show me how to make a real American classic, blueberry muffins. Well, this is it. I have to say I've never seen blueberries grow before.
Well, this is kind of the end of our season. They're
Yeah.
usually a little more plentiful this time of year, but this year has been a little strange to say the least. So they're small.
How many varieties of different types have you got?
We have 30 on the farm.
Right.
And they range from very early to very late. The Elliott is the latest one we have. It's a very late variety. Normally you're picking it mid-September.
And how many have you got here? Because they're as far as I can see around here,
We have 43 acres.
which is quite a lot of bushes. How many?
It's about 800 per acre.
And each plant will produce how much fruit?
If it's in total production,
Yeah.
which means it's at least 10 years old, you can expect 15 to 30 pounds a bush if they're in top form.
The blueberry, that's got to be the quintessential fruit of America, hasn't it?
It is yes, it's really not American pie. This is the blueberry pie.
The blueberry
The
pie.
blueberry is the all-American fruit. That and the cranberry, they are indigenous species, and they really are something that started here.
So how many do we need for our muffins then? How many do we have to pick?
For a single recipe, 2 cups.
Right. I'll start this end, you start that end.
Yeah.
2 cups. Once we've picked enough, we head back to the farm cafe for a blueberry muffin masterclass. Right, blueberry muffins.
My favorite.
Your favourite? They've got to be here, aren't they?
Okay, we start with butter. Regular old butter. Then we add the sugar to it. And I know it looks like a lot, but we're making a large batch.
Yeah.
And we put our little handy dandy thing in here. And hopefully I can do this without it making a big mess.
Now, I can't think of many places better and more appropriate to make blueberry muffins than this, with the view behind us.
That is quite good, yes.
You never get bored of that, though,
No,
do you?
no.
Yeah. Next into the batter go eggs, and then the dry ingredients, flour, salt, and baking powder, with a touch of bicarbonate of soda, then a splash of milk. I was brought up on a farm. We like to think that the farmhouse baking is some of the best in the country. Is it still the case in America?
I think so, because everything is geared around the kitchen.
Yeah.
You know, we're used to using what we grow. That's pretty well mixed. And then we're going to take most of the blueberries, and we're going to cut those in.
It's fantastic to use freshly picked blueberries. These are going to be seriously good muffins. The muffin cases are filled with more blueberries going on top.
And a fresh blueberry usually on top will burst.
Right.
So it makes it nice and pretty. Okay, and you just do a little bit of sugar on the top.
So this creates the little crust on the top, which we all like, yeah.
Some people have sweet tooths.
And there we have it, beautiful blueberry muffins ready for the oven. I can't wait to try these. And joining us for some freshly baked muffins with a view are farm workers Mark and Debbie. Well, they look good. How popular are they?
As many as we make, we can sell.
Yeah. So traditionally, you're supposed to eat these just on their own, or with ice cream, or what?
Some people like them grilled with butter, but I like them straight grilled with butter.
Right.
Yes, they're not fattening enough.
This is as far from a manufactured blueberry muffin as you could possibly get, isn't it?
These are the real thing.
These are the real thing. It's delicious.
I know.
I think what really impressed me about Connecticut, it seemed that they could actually grow anything they wanted. It was a beautiful part of the state. And particularly the muffins, they tasted fantastic. And I'm going to do a tray-baked muffin that's toasted with jam and ice cream. Now, this recipe couldn't be simpler. It's 8 ounces of everything: butter, sugar, self-raising flour, blueberries, and 4 eggs. Start by creaming the butter and sugar together, then beating the eggs. Turn the mixer off, and then in goes the self-raising flour. And I always find whenever you add the flour to any mixture like this, it's always better to do it by hand. It creates a much lighter mixture. As soon as you've got it mixed like this, and all the flour's mixed together, then fold in the blueberries. You could bake these in a regular muffin tin, but using a rectangular one like this creates a better shape for toasting. Just tap it lightly to get it into the corners. You need to bake this for half an hour. It really is that quick and easy to make. Once the cake is baked and cooled down, remove the paper and cut into individual portions. And you can see you've got the blueberries almost all the way through. What we can do now is then just take a piece, trim it up. The reason why I trim it up, you can eat this bit. They are pretty good. Hot pan, tiny little bit of butter. We can then just basically toast this in the butter. Toasting it will not just increase the flavour of it, but it'll also, most importantly, warm it up, which is what you want, I suppose, when you have a muffin for breakfast. So just lightly toast it on both sides. And then you can grab some of this fantastic jam that I got from the farm while I was over there. Just all blueberries, really, with a tiny bit of sugar. Put some of the blueberry jam on the top. And then If you've ever been to America and had a proper breakfast with pancakes or muffins, it wouldn't be complete without ice cream. And there you have it, my warm blueberry toasted muffins with jam and vanilla ice cream. It's a bit different to a full English breakfast, I know, but it tastes so good. I might be destined for more blueberry muffins. I've got a bit of a problem with the car. That is going to annoy me. I think it's held on with rust. The most essential thing with classic cars in this trip, tape. That'll do. Nothing serious, and I'm back on the road. Certainly an interesting day for me, because I always wanted to go to Harlem. And then coming here and seeing blueberries being grown just goes to prove if America can grow it, they'll stick it in a cake.